Welcome back, everybody, to Nerdrotic. My name is Gary Beekler, and this is the Nerdrotic Nooner at 9:30 p.m. Pacific time. Might be noon somewhere. Probably is. Not really sure. This one's awfully late because I was on a 7-hour live stream last night going into the wee hours of the morning on Geeks and Gamers with some amazing YouTubers all ganging up on poor Cecil, who held his ground like a man and also was pretty drunk. But it's okay. And Cecil has his points, and he was incredibly wrong. But Cecil is love. We will just say Cecil is love. And I got to meet Mahler and Rags, and Jesse was on there. Anna, that Star Wars girl, of course. Jeremy, Doomcock showed up. It was pretty fun. The Game of Thrones thing is really kind of taken over. It's almost, I would say, almost overshadowed Endgame in some respects, which is crazy. Certainly, I have guested on a couple of iHeart radio shows. One was over Doctor Who, and one was about Game of Thrones. Those both be out soon, and I will let you guys know when those are out. And this is going to be kind of a loose one tonight. I'm not going to keep it on the channel. I'm going to put it over on Nerdrotic Live when it's done because it's so late, and I don't know how long I'm going to go. It won't be a 4-hour live stream. I promise you that. I need to get some sleep at some point. So greetings, everybody. What's up, Mikey and Knuckle and Daniel Tilson and Deaths 0079 and Kaylee Traveler. What's going on? Zippo Fanatic 77, Todd Hostinger, Valned. You got to think about these names sometimes. Timon FLP and Darth Scipio. Cecil is the lush. I'm a fellow 9-year-old. Hey, PewDiePie's Army. Subscribe to PewDiePie. Or is that over now? I think it's over now. Mike Brown, what's up? Alex Flores, Baghead 777, and Rudyard Oljink. I'm sorry if I screwed that up, but I just dare anybody to say my name without hearing me say it. Beagleman 85, Amy Johnson, the Senate. Greetings, everybody. So what I was thinking about today was after Game of Thrones and just all the franchises that have just kind of bitten the dust in the last 2 to 3 years. It's really incredible. And even during the live stream last night, there's people who are speculative on why, and there's many reasons why they're failing. It's not just politics being injected in them. Certainly that's a major factor, but some of it's just bad writing. Yeah, but that's because of what's being injected into our franchises, and they stopped being what they were before. Because as in Hollywood, they just think they have better ideas for the stuff that's been around for decades. So I know I don't usually do, I don't get bummed out for long periods of time. I don't do depressed. I've gone through periods of it, of course, in my life, but, I usually don't let entertainment get me down. But the Game of Thrones thing got me down, and it's been coming on for a while. All right. So Game of Thrones hasn't been good for a while. We get that out of the way, in my opinion, but it is still mostly somewhat been in the spirit of the books, been the spirit of the original show. It's not even the same show it was before, but it really just dove off the cliff on Sunday night. And I know a lot of people like that episode. I know a lot of people did not. I am one of the people who did not. But I agree with Mahler and Rags. And I've said this too, that talk to me in a few months. It certainly, as Doomcock put it on his video and said in the live stream last night, there is a Last Jedi vibe about this big time. And not really, Doomcock showed some plot similarities, which are eerie, but it's more just in how it just devastated a franchise. I can make an argument, and I will a little bit, that Doctor Who can be saved. Star Trek can be saved. I don't think Star Wars can be saved. I don't think Game of Thrones is done. It's cooked and done. You can't save it. And I'm just, as I was gathering up. I had a little Game of Thrones section in my office. You guys couldn't see it. It was like up there. See, it's a little empty up there right now. That's where all my Game of Thrones stuff was. And it was also like on my desk right here. Cleared it all off today. I'm going to get rid of my Blu-rays because I'm not going to watch it anymore. It's not like it's some hissy fit. It's just like I don't need it taking up space in my house. If I can get some cheddar for it, or I'm going to give some of my action figures to my patrons, that's fine. And it's no skin off my back. It's more room for Doctor Who stuff. But like, you think there's any space in here? It's just after, thinking about this for 2 or 3 days, my mind hasn't changed at all. Actually, the further you get away from the episode, the worse it gets. I actually watched it again, and I feel the same way. It's just a hot mess, and it buried the franchise. I don't care what happens from here on out. I will be covering it, and I'm certain they haven't shown a lot of scenes from the next 3 episodes, so obviously something surprising is going to happen. I'm not sure what. I don't think it's the Night King coming back though. So, but they have not shown a lot of footage from the last 3 episodes. So obviously they're keeping something back. What that is, I have no idea. I'm aware of a couple of spoilers. I will not share them here, and they could be wrong. I don't know, because I read them on Reddit. So, well, God, they have to be right. But let's get to the chat on this. So I'm going to talk about what's better out there right now, because there's still some good stuff, but the danger that these shows are in of turning into Game of Thrones as they get bigger, as more people want to get involved, as more politics get involved. It's just almost better with a show like The Expanse to remain a little niche, and because if it gets any bigger, then that's when people feel like they need to use it as a platform. And that's the thing that's on the minds of producers, and of course making money, but all of a sudden Hollywood, because Hollywood's working a lot of stuff out since before Harvey Weinstein. Thanks, Harvey Weinstein, you jackass. They're working a lot of stuff out on screen within our franchises, stuff that they really should be working out in HR, some therapists maybe. Parties tend to go on too long, and people sometimes don't know when to go home. And Hollywood's been a big party for about 100 years. And they've done there's definitely been some atrocities in Hollywood, and they're trying to work them out. Well, that's really good that you're trying to work them out. And we got people like Brie Larson, who labels herself on the forefront of bringing in inclusivity and diversity as a white girl. She's kind of reminding me of Mark Waid a little bit. Like, she thinks she's Captain Marvel. She thinks she's a real superhero, and Jesus Christ, it's just crazy. So an argument can be made that Game of Thrones hasn't been totally derailed by identity politics. I think it played a factor. I also think it's as with Doctor Who, it's a factor of we tried to put in too many politics, plus we didn't really have the talent to write that and make it part of the story and make it an allegory so people can think about things. No, they just wanted to just slap it on. And I was talking to a gentleman named Robert today on the radio show. That's coming out tomorrow. No, yeah, it's coming out tomorrow at 7. I'll give you guys the link. It'll be on Twitter and on the community section. And he brought up a great point that Dan and Dave really don't give a crap what we think, what I think. HBO doesn't give a crap what you think, what I think. They know we are going to show up and watch it, and the numbers back that up. They missed their own record for overnight viewers by 40,000. Now, this is the age of streaming compared to that old record, so more people watched that. It was probably the most watched HBO show once you get the streaming numbers in and everything. So they're going, yeah, total success. We did what we needed to do, and guess what? We didn't even have to work that hard on it. We didn't even have to give them a good ending. And while HBO might be concerned because they do have a prequel and they do want to carry this on. But as a viewer, you got to ask yourself, I got to ask myself, am I going to want to jump on the next Game of Thrones show and we'll get a good setup? Maybe. And then the show will get too big and get buried under its own weight. And we'll see actual budget decisions play into, say, the Dothraki. The Dothraki were dispelled like that for budget reasons, not for story reasons. And I'll tell you exactly why. Horses. Horses are incredibly expensive to shoot, to maintain, to have on the set. There is all kinds of rules that, you know, Hollywood has put on themselves for the horse's safety, which is great. But that is part of the reason they got rid of them. And you know, this big dragon battle we were supposed to get, well, we didn't get that. That was a budget decision. Ghost runs off into the battle. We never see him again. Or if we do, I didn't catch it. Budget decision. The polar bear that they had to go get last season, they chose, Dan and Dave chose the polar bear over Ghost. It was supposed to be Ghost. It was Ghost or the polar bear. They had to choose one or the other, and they chose the polar bear. So do you really expect to get a good story for the next 3 episodes from these guys? The guys who sent Gendry to the wall, who had to run to the wall, send a raven to Daenerys in Dragonstone. So to give you some, to give you an idea of how far that is, Westeros, according to George R. R. Martin, is the size of South America. So it was like sending a raven from Tijuana to, Cape Horn. Is that what it is down there? Cape Horn. And back in what, a day? Were they sitting out there a day? I don't know. Because it didn't matter. You know, those are things they used to think about, and it didn't matter. So we're not going to get a good 3 episodes. It'll be interesting to watch. And yeah, all the people, everybody's going to watch it. Everybody's going to finish it. And I understand that. Part of the reason I was seeing it through was this is the only ending I think I'm going to get because I'm a book fan, and I'm still a book fan. That hasn't changed. I do have a video coming out on how this ending could not happen in the books, not in any way, shape, or form. So it is impossible the way they've got it set up. I will get to the chat now. And, you know, we could certainly, I mean, like the episode, man, it's beating a dead horse, but it's more, we don't even have to talk about the episode anymore. It's the results of the episode. Certainly it's not going to hurt season 8 at all. But will it hurt the Game of Thrones prequel? Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of fans who were just like, I'm not going to try this, or it's going to be on a very short leash. And it's going to be really, well, for one, Dan and Dave won't be involved. So maybe it'll be improved. Maybe more talented people are involved. That's a possibility. We can hope. But if it's a background of the Night King, does anybody care about a prequel of the Night King? Or they have the origins of the White Walker? I mean, who cares? They are obviously not the big threat we thought they were. And if I hear one more time somebody telling me that's not what the show's about, you don't understand, please. I'm not an expert on anything. Okay. I'm a big fan, just like you guys. And I like a lot of stuff. And I don't put all my eggs in one basket here on this channel. I cover a lot of stuff. But my favorite thing is Doctor Who, but Game of Thrones was real damn close, you know, and of course there's Lord of the Rings, but there's no Lord of the Rings to talk about. So otherwise that's probably what my channel will be about. But yeah, Game of Thrones is pretty damn close. And I wanted this to be a Game of Thrones channel at one time. So I understand Game of Thrones. I understand it's about the politics. I understand the show's called Game of Thrones and it's not called A Song of Ice and Fire, but it's certainly based on that. And the overall themes in the books are about A Song of Ice and Fire. And what is the song? A lot of people probably don't even know what the song is. It's what Bran has in his head. That's the song, because the children of the forest are also their name in their own language is those who sing the song of earth. And Bran's information is the song. It's the story, basically. So, and it's the story of ice and fire. Well, now it's the story of fire, kind of fire and wine. I should have called it A Song of Fire and Wine. Kind of works. Peter Davison, Australian $5. I read Clara Oswald was based on Sarah Jane Smith. They both had brown hair, or her aunt. Can anyone enlighten me further, please? Peter Davison, here's what happened to Miss Clara Oswald. She was conceived completely, well, not literally conceived, as a character by a writer, not by mommy and daddy. She was conceived completely different because no insider knowledge on this. I'm just going on what Doctor Who magazine told me when they first announced her. And they said she's going to be a sassy, flirty computer whiz, which is exactly what we got. And maybe they were just basing that on her first episode, and that's exactly what we got. And I will argue Clara in Asylum of the Daleks is fantastic. She could have been my favorite companion. Even the Clara in the Snowman was good. But it was after that it changed, and a lot changed in Doctor Who after the 50th and during the 50th anniversary. There was a lot of politics. They were sneaking in. They were definitely sneaking in during Matt Smith's era, but they weren't that bad, to be honest with you. It didn't really bother me back then. It didn't bother me in the Capaldi era until about season 10. I mean, I saw it getting worse, but Clara Oswald was changed. Basically, they changed her character, and they changed it for political reasons. They didn't want her to be the typical companion. Stephen Moffat was getting a ton of criticism, being called sexist. To this day, I don't know why. Probably just because NBC's, whatever. And it got to him. It did. It bothered him a lot. And in interviews, he's talked about how kind of thin-skinned he is and how he had to rage quit Twitter and all that stuff. Sean C, $5. Game of Thrones really, thank you, Peter, by the way. Again, Sean C, $5. Game of Thrones really needs to stick the landing with these final 3 episodes, or I will never rewatch the series again. Do you feel the same? I will never watch the series again when I'm done. I think it's impossible. I think it'd be more possible for me to turn invisible right now. Maybe if I stay still long enough. Is it working? How about now? Dan and Dave, I just told you they wrote Gendry running to the wall and sending a raven from Tijuana to Cape Horn, and it got back in like a day and a half. No, they're not going to stick this landing. I don't know how they could stick this landing. I gave one way that could probably. I know there's a brand theory out there, and it's dumb. I'm sorry. I could see it happening. So there was some theory that the Night King and Bran's look, like a lot of people expected him to kneel to Bran, or he was warging into Bran. But we've never had anything tell us that he can warg. I mean, he's warging. I guess he's warging into the dead people. He's controlling them. Is that actually warging into them? Possibly, but they've never explained that, which they could have done through Bran at any time, or Sam. Remember, Sam went to the Citadel to study books to give us information about the Night King, but they never, because it wasn't that important, I guess. All right, fine. If that's not that important, then this show isn't that important. Yes, they really need to stick the landing. I will watch, and I think it's pretty damn impossible. Sorry to say. It sucks. I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy to report that Game of Thrones wasted so many people's time. It sucks. Alan Massey, $10. I am an original Axonar donor and follow Alex. Haven't seen you over there much. Are you being blacklisted because of the monetization issues, because you speak your mind? No. Alan, I definitely thank you for the question and the concern. That is not the case at all. To Alex's credit, he never gave me crap about my opinions on Star Trek Discovery, not once. And I've talked to the guys at the Popcast, and I want to get them on. They're really good. It goes to, unfortunately, the Mecha Random situation, and I just didn't want to get in the middle of that, and I certainly wasn't happy to see how Mecha was treated. Mecha's a friend. So, I mean, I know Mecca, and people are allowed to have their opinions on both sides of things. I just think, try to be respectful, and that's it. So that's my feelings on that. So I just kind of stayed out of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm busy too. I got there's other collaborations I want to get into and stuff, but no, Alex has never blacklisted me for my views on Star Trek at all. No, but thank you, Alan. Joel Tumburo, $5. Part of the problem is they are not using genre writers in these franchises. Exactly. But instead, more soap opera and generic writers. And it shows. Joel, it certainly does. And that is the problem. The reason they're doing that in the Kurtzman, in the Star Trek, for instance, in Star Trek, is Kurtzman, Bad Reboot, and Secret Hideout are... they're very insular. Is that the word? They're very much a like a clique. Alex Kurtzman, is a lot like JJ, that he wants to be in complete control. So he wants to be surrounded by a bunch of yes people, basically. Now, I think CBS is slowly been getting him out. Michelle Paradise, from what I've heard, is essentially running the show now. And why would Alex Kurtzman just sign a 5-year deal who had complete control of Star Trek, and all of a sudden he's all, I got somebody helping me out with the show? Come on. We know what really happened. CBS said, she's helping you. And there's 2 reasons for that. These are just my speculation. He needed help, and they wanted a woman being a co-showrunner. Speculation. That's it. That's just my speculation. I could be completely wrong, because Michelle Paradise is just known for her Star Trek. Oh, no. Actually, no, she's not. She's run a show before. Okay. But not a Star Trek show. That's the thing, is they go, oh, well, she's a woman and she's run a show, but not Star Trek. Star Trek's not just a show. Well, it is now, but it wasn't just a show. Let me keep an eye on the chat here. I'll get you guys in the chat in just a second. Okay. I'll read a few super chats. I'll kind of pepper it in this time. All right. Does that sound good for everybody? Thank you, Joel, as always. Joel, Alan, Sean, and Peter. You guys are great. Thank you so much. Kilted Bear, $4.99. Much like the Borg, these people can't create. They can only destroy. We must create our own art to survive the garbage that we are being served. That is part of what I'm going to talk about. It's like we're psychically linked. Thank you. Thank you, Kilted Bear. Stargate 404, $2. Do you think George R.R.M. is watching the backlash? I guarantee you he is. As a matter of fact, I'll go on a limb and say George R.R. Martin might have seen like a nanosecond of one of my videos. Who knows? I certainly think they're paying attention. I certainly think George probably doesn't agree with me at all, and that is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I don't agree with him on a lot of stuff either. But I think it was Angry Joe who pointed out that, honestly, I'll be honest with you, that was the first Angry Joe video I have ever watched from beginning to end. I've known of him, but I've just never, it's not like I wasn't a fan or no disrespect to him or anything. I've just never come across his videos. So somebody mentioned he did a video on the review. So after I did my review, I watched everybody's review, good and bad. I've watched 100 videos on it. Most people are pissed. So Angry Joe's review, which I thought was pretty good, to be honest with you. He mentioned that George didn't tweet once during the night of the episode, not once, and that his last tweet before that, and I could be wrong on this, I don't know if it was before the show or after the show, he tweeted another show, The Kingdom, said, hey, this is a great show. Now he does that all the time. The double-edged sword with George is he is to us fans who just want him to do work, he's a gigantic nerd like us, like a level 12 nerd. So he still likes to go, even though he's worked in the field forever, he still likes to go to conventions, and he buys comic books, I bet. And and if anything, I can be mad at him, but he gave us Meow Wolf, and Meow Wolf is one of my favorite things on this planet. And if you don't know what that is, go check out the website. I'm a little bit of an artiste. Okay. I'm an illustrator, among many other things, but I love pop art. It's a passion. I love comic books. I love pop art. It is an old bowling alley that George bought and gave to a bunch of artists. But it's like, modern pop art, and they let them loose in it, and they build an entire house inside of it. And it's this bizarre house that you can open up the washer and walk through the refrigerator, and you end up in like this other kind of world. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean and the haunted house for dropping acid, basically. But you can really enjoy it sober, and it's great for the kids. And there's a giant outside, and go look it up, look at pictures of it. It's in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and they're building one in Denver, I think. And if they do, go. It's good. It's a good time. It's fun. Ray Stetler for 250 Philippine dollars. Hello from the Philippines. Hello. I really enjoy your show. Ben, I saw Endgame last night and cried at the end. Please tell me I'm not the only one. No, you're not. Absolutely not. I'm so glad Brie didn't ruin the movie. I am as well. She damn near did, but no, she didn't ruin the movie. It is a very flawed movie, and the more I think about it, the more flaws I think, and I have some problems with some stuff. But as far as emotional impact for fanboys and girls, fan men and ladies, it certainly delivered. Here in Cap, I love that they saved Avengers Assemble to the end. I do. I thought that was just awesome. Cap picking up the hammer, brilliant. Fat Thor didn't like it so much at the end. It was a good joke, didn't like it at the end. But for emotional impact, I don't like the fact that they retired the character of Iron Man, Tony Stark Iron Man. But and Mahler or Rags, somebody brought this up in the live stream last night. As far as film is concerned, I think we just saw the most fully fleshed out, realized character in the history of film, which is Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark. From beginning to end, he played that character to perfection, even in some subpar movies. And his performance in Endgame was, if I cared about the Academy Awards, I think he really should get nominated. He was really that good. He was really that good in it. I don't care about the Academy Awards, so screw them. But the all-woman scene and flabby Thor and Hulk not doing anything, and I mentioned on the radio show tonight when Doctor Strange showed up and made all the portals. Those were all the plot holes forming in the film right before our eyes. So. Thank you, Ray. No, you weren't alone. It was very emotional. People were cheering. It's a very in the moment film, but just don't think about it very much. And honestly, I saw it twice in one day, and I'm okay. See it as much as you like. Enjoy it. It's as good as we were going to get. Period. It's as good as we were going to get, and it was historic, and it's a great end, but we are turning the page, and that next page is gonna, not too sure about that next page. It's going to give me a lot of content for the next year or two, but we'll see how Spider-Man turns out, because I think Spider-Man is the first of, no, Captain Marvel was the first. I think Spider-Man will be the second MCU film filled with agenda. Stargate 404. I'm sorry. I skipped Stargate. I'll get right back to you, buddy. Okay. And by the way, Ray in the Philippines, my store, the Comic Outpost, is on Ocean Avenue here in San Francisco. So it's right next to Daly City. And as you may know, Daly City has the highest Filipino population in the country, I'm guessing. As far as per capita, it's there's a lot of Filipinos. So a large portion of my customers were from the Philippines. Brilliant people. Love you guys so much. there's a yeah, some of the best customers in the world, straight up. Where was a Stargate 404? I did it again. Lou, I'm sorry. Stargate, I'll get back to you. Lou, Australian $2. You see that Matt Smith possessed by the Emperor leak? Oh no. No. Matt Smith is going to be Palpatine, but a possessed. Poor Matt. He's going to get Terminator Gynesis again, and it's Gynesis. Terminator Gynecology. Yeah, remember he was supposed to be in that, and then they made him like a hologram at the end. Poor Matt. Who would have thought that Karen Gillan is a bigger star? Maybe, just maybe, you should have stayed Doctor Who for a little while longer. Just saying. Bet you he wishes he had that role again. I don't understand. I understand why Peter Capaldi left. Peter Capaldi had a great career without Doctor Who. Didn't need it. Did it at his age. Matt Smith was a youngin'. Matt Smith's name was known everywhere. His face was everywhere. Everybody knew who he was. And he got all the attention just everywhere he went. He was like a rock star, and he quit. I don't know why. I would never quit that role. You act to make money, to act for the rest of your life. You can still act in other things with Doctor Who. No, you're not going to get some big features or anything, but that is like being a big ass movie star. That's like winning the lottery. It doesn't happen very often. And Brie Larson definitely won the lottery because it's not on talent. But Matt Smith, I mean, he's got talent, and he was in The Crown. He's done some good TV work. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great actor. But I don't think he's like leading man Hollywood material. So, being in The Crown was the best thing he's done outside of Doctor Who. I'm told. I haven't seen it. But I don't know, stay in Doctor Who for a while, because what would you rather have? What would you rather be? I mean, don't you want to be remembered as an actor? I mean, it's all about getting attention and being remembered. Being a star of Doctor Who, which is pretty much what you're going to be from now on anyway, you should have stayed a little longer. That's just me. Stargate 404, finally, $5. Also, more of an exozone question, but have you heard of the Pumapunko in South America? I have. Would you guys consider covering it on Exozone? It would be my great pleasure to cover the strangest place on Earth, the single weirdest place on this planet, the most unexplained what the F thing. I can't get into it in detail here, but Pumapunku in South America is the single most weirdest place on the planet. It's got these impossible stones, and it's not even they're cut very weird. It's just the place makes no sense. It's on Ancient Aliens a lot. Tech Guy, $2. Could the Night King come back in later episodes? He could. It'd be I agree with Doomcock, it'd be dumb, but at this point I'd kind of be for it. I'm okay with that. I mentioned that in my video. If you show the Night King come back and in some kind of, like they're all fighting each other and it looks like Cersei's about to win or lose or whatever, and then the Night King comes out of nowhere in the middle of the day, by the way, in the middle of the day, and all of a sudden the sun goes out and it looks all wintry, and then there's more dead people coming out. Sure, why not? That would be better than, is Cersei going to sit the throne? Oh, Cersei. She's going to drink wine and blow up wildfire. Cersei. Okay. I'm going to forget the spoilers I may or may not know and just guess, because the ones I know have nothing to do with the character I'm talking about. This is a guess. Just a guess. Tyrion's going to do something really stupid and die, which that will piss me off more than the Night King. More. Jon Snow is going to get captured. He's going to go and do something, and they're going to and the only reason I think that is they love doing their callbacks to the first season. So I'm thinking of Baylor, that episode where Ned gets caught, and we're going to think that he's going to suffer the same fate as Ned Stark, but he'll get saved by his sisters or Brienne or something like that. They're going to do something really typical, like have Jaime actually kill Cersei. And then they're going to tell us, oh, we've been subverting your expectations. And they did a reverse subvert. Like, none of you thought we were going to do it. We're actually going to do it. Or it's going to be Jaime's face on Arya, and Arya will kill it. Ooh, who didn't see that coming? The only thing I'll agree with Cecil on 100%, and it would actually, I mean, it wouldn't save the show, but it would finally make some damn sense, is the faceless men come to collect on Arya, because you're not supposed to give the gift. The gift, is not something Arya gets to decide. Only the many-faced God gets to decide that. Oh, remember those theories that people looked at the Night King and they saw his pupil, and they thought he was Death from the Seven. It would. Your Night King theory sucks, Rianne Johnson. Man, what a. I stick to my previous statements that maybe somebody should have bullied him in high school. Just saying. Nathan O'Brien for $49.99. Sorry, so late. What did you think of the link I sent you where John did the setup for Arya? The Go Dragon block. It didn't really come. I'll have to look at that again. I'll just say it. If they were saying he was like clearing the path for Arya, he was just keeping the dragon busy. Because the writers were too dumb to realize that the Night King could have just flown over the Godswood and burned Bran. And if he loses a dragon, he never had one before. And so the Night King wanted, this is all we know from the show. He wanted to turn the lights out forever. But first, he wanted to turn off the internet. Now, honestly, if you really wanted to punish humanity before you destroyed the earth, turning off the internet for a couple of days would do it. I'm not saying that that's not a punishment, but only Bran can access the internet right now. So it certainly feels like they're going to explain something, and Bran going, I've got to go now, and then goes for the whole fight. So I'm telling you, man, you think I'm hard now? I'm expecting, no, I'm not expecting any of this to get explained, but they might. So that's why I'm being quiet about the Bran thing. But we get to the end of the season, and when he says, I've got to go now, in the middle of the battle, and it was just to warg into some birds, and that's it. I'm fully expecting, like in 3 episodes, he had to go warg into the future or go see what Cersei was doing or something involving Jon Snow or something. But does anybody care if he sits on the throne? He's not going to sit on the throne. They're not going to give Jon the throne. It's the obvious move. He's never wanted the throne, or maybe they'll reverse our I don't even care. He didn't come back to life to sit his butt on the Iron Throne. The Iron Throne, I always expected it not to exist at the end of the story, that they were going to start some kind of new system because the whole realm banded together to fight the dead. Now, I thought the skirmish with Cersei would happen first, and they subverted my expectation. I know, because it makes sense. And you don't just subvert expectations. Well, everybody's going to predict this. Everybody knows Cersei's not going to be on the throne at the end of the show. Everybody knows the Night King wasn't going to win, these are things we know. You still deliver. It doesn't mean you don't do it. So yeah, it was supposed to be politicking and battling with Cersei. Honestly, I wish they would have kept the capturing the white. They could have cut that whole thing out. That did nothing for the story. Zero for the story. It just proved Cersei right. That's it. It was a meaningless spectacle. They could have spent that time with politicking with Cersei, and they could have done that right until the end. Then the Night King swoops in while everybody's fighting each other. But thank you, Nathan. I really appreciate it. Ah, man. I want there to be an explanation. I do. You're awesome, Nathan. Thank you so much. Fantasy recommendations for I mean $49.99. That's could be brought up again. Thank you, Nathan, for a very generous super chat. Stargate 404, $2. Fantasy recommendations for a former Game of Thrones fan. Lord of the Rings. The Wheel of Time. At least that ended. Roger Zolanzi, The Nine Princes of Amber. That's really good. I haven't read a ton. I really liked, if you could find them, there was a comic company called CrossGen that only did like fantasy comic books. One called Sojourn. Fantastic. If you can find it, look for it. It's old Greg Land art. A lot of you comic fans know what I'm talking about. Let's show you that real quick. CrossGen Sojourn. I mean, it's Greg Land, so he was basically tracing porn stars and stuff, but the stories were good. I mean, CrossGen was good. The editor-in-chief was an arrogant wanker, and yes, Mark Waid worked for him, but it was good. It just never really took off, but here we go. These were around right when I bought my store. So Sojourn. That right there. Yeah, pretty decent art. Again, it's tracing, but it's good art. It's got dragons, hot women, fantasy, you know. Yeah. You know what I've been doing? I was the reason, and I will be talking about Doctor Who, is when I lose a franchise, because I did this after Star Trek Discovery Season 1, after Doctor Who Season 11, after Star Wars The Last Jedi, I just started watching old Doctor Who. It makes me feel better instantly. As a matter of fact, I felt so bad, I went to the Unearthly Child, which I rarely do. I went to the beginning, and I'm like, I need to watch this all over again because I just need to see a good story again. And, you know, the episodes I've watched the least are the episodes of the first two Doctors. I mean, they're cool, but, you know, I always gravitate to 3 and 4, but I'm committed to, I'm starting from the beginning, and, you know, this will take me a while, a couple years, but I'm going through the whole damn thing. And yes, I'm going to be reviewing it. I don't know if what I'll do is I'll probably put the reviews on Patreon first, and then I'll put them on Nerdrotic Live. So if people want to hear me talk positive, and what inspired this is I was on a Doctor Who podcast for iHeartRadio. Christian, thank you. And we geeked out. I was one of the people on there was Dr. Freedom, and we talked about the Valiard for an hour. That was nice. That was just nice. It was great. Jody only came up a couple times. Just we talked about Time Lords they didn't bring back into the new series. And it's a whole series they're going to do. So Annie Shikima for $5. Question: the Exozone. I tend to miss the live streams, and it seems like I can never find them to watch after. What am I missing? Your channel is awesome. Ani, yeah, we had to start taking them off the channel because this is going to be long, and I got to bring up this article right now because this is part of the problem. So this will go together. Very good super chat. It was almost like that was meant to happen, but it really is. Really was not. I'm trying to find God, I don't want to show you any you look at me. I don't want to show you any mainstream media article. F these oh gosh. Okay, so YouTube lost $70 billion in market value yesterday because they changed their algorithm for a couple reasons. They changed it because of Alex Jones. They changed it because of UFO videos. Then they changed it because of Brie effing Larson. And they lost $70 billion in ad revenue. Huh? You want to know why? Because people don't go to YouTube to watch mainstream bullshit. As a matter of fact, the reason that YouTube started blowing up in 2016 was people had had enough of the mainstream media's bullshit. A lot of people did. I know a lot of people still watch it. That's fine. I have not. This year, I have not watched a second of mainstream media news. I will never watch it again. If it's by accident, if it's in the gym, I avert my eyes. I don't watch that garbage anymore. It's fear porn and it's lies. It's lies and it's constant lies. And honestly, I've felt that way for a long time. For a long, long time. I won't get political. There was one single instance that just made me say, F you. Because you could tell they were lying. So YouTube caters to them, pushes down the creators. They lose 70 billion. Huh. Now, Alphabet can absorb that because it's a too big of a company, by the way. And I love YouTube. I think YouTube should love YouTube. It should accept what it is. It is a place where people go to connect and talk. And I dare say mostly hear the truth. Yeah, there's some BS out there, of course. But percentage-wise, not as much as the mainstream media. Not even effing close. So the exozone is filled with UFO talk. And it's been getting buried in the algorithm. And every time I put one up or Doomcock put one up on our channels, magically, all of our sub counts would just stop dead. Our view counts would stop dead. And it's like our channel would stop getting recommended. So they basically shadow banned us on that. So with the unfortunate instance of me getting a copyright strike, I did something I had no intention of doing because it's just more work, is starting another channel as a backup. And that's where it's going to be. So Nerdrotic Live is where the exozones on my channel will be. And Doomcock has an alternate channel. Harvey Cthulhu. Do I have any mods in here today? If not, it's kind of late. So I don't know if I have any mods. If I have any mods, if you could put the links in. If not, give me a second and I will. But that's a great question. The exozone is every Sunday night. So if you can't catch us live, Nerdrotic Live. And it's linked on the chat. If you go to my channel and you look to the right, you see Friends of Nerdrotic, and I know it's a big long list because I like a lot of people. In that list, there is Nerdrotic Live. You can just go over there, subscribe, and that's where they will all be planted. Now, I have figured out a way on my channel to put them up with the chat from now on, so the chat will be included. As a matter of fact, this nooner is going to go over there when it's done. So here, I'll put it in the chat for you guys right now. YouTube. It's youtube.com/C as in Charlie /Nerdrotic Live. Did I spell that right? Okay. There you go. That should be. Oh no, I did that wrong. I'll try it again. HTTP. Sorry. youtube.com/C/Nerdrotic Live. That should do it. Boom. There we go. Okay, there, the link's up. So Ani, I hope you thank you for watching the Exozone. We love doing it. We will be doing more of it, and thank you guys for being fans of that show, because it's a passion project that we adore. And like later on, like I don't see myself fighting politics getting infused into entertainment. I hope that battle ends someday positively and we bring things back into the center. Not saying politics shouldn't exist at all. I'm just saying, can we get things back in the freaking middle? And then I'll do this. and then I will focus on Doctor Who and talking about the Valiard and probably bore people to death, and I won't get as much clicks, but whatever. But I will be diving into that a lot more because the side of, comics and pop culture, that has been a passion for a long, long time. I'll have to tell you the story of what got me into it. Because there is one instance that got me into that stuff. Thank you, Ani, for bringing up the Exozone. I love the Exozone and my good friend Doomcock. By the way, I was asked this. I do not know who Doomcock is, nor will I ever ask. Doomcock is Doomcock. Peter Davison, Australian, $5. Thanks a lot. I think it was an article from Doctor Who writers, something about a middle name being borrowed. Possibly. They might have done it, if it was like a tribute to Sarah Jane, that's fine. I can't talk about Sarah Jane too long. I'll start getting all mushy. Elizabeth Sladen and Sarah Jane is just, and how she died. Yeah, she was brilliant. But no, there was no female heroes in Doctor Who until Jodie showed up. I was watching An Unearthly Child. Actually, as a matter of fact, I was just watching The Forest of Fear. No, was it Cave of Skulls, Forest of Fear? Cave of Skulls, Forest of Fear. The third one. And I was just like, wow, it was 1963 and women were in a show and they were allowed to talk. Wow. Because if you'd listen to anybody today, they were just in the back corner and they weren't allowed to talk. Now, certainly it was the 60s, and there's a part where William Hartnell is talking and he pulls the guy aside when he's talking to the guy and girl. He pulls the guy aside. That was pretty funny. You have to see it. I was just like, oh, but that was it, really. Yeah. Poor William Hartnell. And the teeth back then. Wow. Osiris 3344. Oh, my friends from Australia are here. Good day, Australia. One of the greatest countries on earth. Fair to say that they're going to kill and or neuter every male and set up female Royal Rumble. You bet your Australian ass that's what's going to happen. Laying it down right now. Jon Snow, they will not have a white male sit on that effing throne unless it's Tyrion. If it's Tyrion, I'll at least be happy about that. That would be one thing that would make me happy. Wouldn't make the show better, but it would make me happy. But no, I'm guessing they're going to, because it would make me happy, they're going to kill Tyrion. And they're just doing it to do it. Honestly, I was thinking about this. If this was season 1 Game of Thrones and it was in a time where it wasn't so hyper political, Arya would have died at the hands of the Night King. Think about how freaking traumatic that would just, but it would actually work. He doesn't die right there, but her sacrifice to go in and try to kill them, just say it buys time. Because my plan would have been, even though the mark is there, find some way. I would have found some way around the mark, some way to trick the Night King, or Bran just sacrifices himself. I mean, how really important is he? I mean, at this point, I don't know. We were told he was the most important thing, but somehow her sacrifice buys them time to get out of there or have a few survivors and pretty much everybody else dies, which I fully expected to happen, but subverted expectations. I know, because we just need to subvert them because we can't actually write anything right now. And she would have died right there. Would have killed people. But I tell you right now, I fully expect Arya to die in the books. They foreshadow it in the first book, and George is famous for doing that. John has a conversation. I don't know if it made it in. I don't think it made it in the show, if memory serves. He gives Arya a needle, and I'm paraphrasing here because I don't remember. He basically says, they're going to find you, after winter is over, curled up around this sword, dead in the snow or something like that. Oh yeah. And I also fully believe for her you want to talk about subverting expectations. She never gets back with the family. I think she'll get close. She might even assist, but I don't think there's any reunions. That's just me. Stargate 404, Amazon's Tolkien Silmarillion series. Thoughts? I don't want it made in current year. I'm cautiously optimistic about it, but it's going to end up like everything else. It really is. Probably best to remain unmade. Nicholas Horton, £2. Hi, Gary. The new Sonic trailer ain't Sonic. No, it's not. I know dick about Sonic. My kids played it. I got him some toys. I don't recognize that. And I can't stand Jim Carrey. So not anymore. I used to like him a lot. I can't stand the sight of him now. Brian Smart for $5. Yeah, Nicholas, that's that trailer. I watched it. Doesn't it look like a bad, like early 2000s animated movie? Am I wrong? Am I off on that one? Sonic fans, I'm sorry. I know Sonic fans. Listen, Sonic fans are so freaking passionate. For one, I sold a ton of Sonic comics. They love the comic book. I had no idea how many Sonic fans there were until I started selling them comic books. Brian Smart, $5. Gary, did you get my Orville season 3 email? Yes, I responded to it. If not, check your Twitter messages. I responded to it, Brian. And I also passed that a little bit without, giving your name or anything. I passed on some of it to JP because I wanted to make him happy. I live to make people happy. You wouldn't believe that from this channel, but I actually, I want to make people happy, but that sometimes means calling out bullshit. So I will share a bit of that email. How's that sound? Because I think we should encourage people. I'm going to try to remember it. So basically, Brian sent me an email. I don't want to, and he heard season 3 for Orville is still a go. It's going to happen. Here's the problem, though, and I actually reported on this a little bit in my last video, but this kind of backs that up. And the Hollywood Reporter reported it. I just read the article. Let's be real. Seth MacFarlane's going to be a free agent next month. He's worth, he generates billions of dollars, not millions, billions for the network. He is one of the highest priced free agents in Hollywood right now. Fox needs to pay him a lot, and Fox Disney needs to give him the same creative freedom he had with Fox, or he is gone. He takes his properties with him. So we either get an Orville season 3 at Fox, or we wait an extra year. And that's my guess. That's pure my speculation. And we get the Orville. My guess is Amazon or Apple. Apple's really getting into the science fiction thing. And I think the Orville, I don't know. I wouldn't want to. The Apple thing's going to fail miserably. It's just going to fail. I'd rather see it. Could you imagine the Orville and the Expanse being on the same network? Oh my God, that would save me money. It would. Yeah. So Brian, thank you. It was very encouraging. So yeah, we might have to wait a little while, but I don't know this for a fact. It just looks like it to me. I could be wrong. The Orville is Seth's favorite. Like if he had to give up, if he had to choose one thing to keep, I bet you it'd be the Orville. Jellyfish sandwich. Ooh, $5. I'd like to read the books. You think George R. R. Martin can find a satisfying ending? King Killer Chronicles is my favorite series, and Rothfuss is also taking forever. I think if George finishes it, yes, I do. but he famously doesn't finish stuff these days. But maybe that's good. I don't know. I have a feeling that Wins a Winner is probably either done or close to done, and they're just waiting for the show and to announce it. And once it's announced, it's like 3 months, 4 months to print or something like that. So I think early 2020, I think we might actually get the book. He's been talking about making a lot of good progress. And the last thing I heard is when he was finishing Fire and Blood, he rented out some cabin somewhere, and that's where he finished it. And apparently he rented out this cabin again. And a lot of people are speculating that he's finishing the book there. I think the book took so long because he rewrote a bunch of it to unfortunately change it to current times. And so I don't know. I don't know about anything anymore. Thank you, Jellyfish Sandwich. Juan Wong for Australian $5. I saw Infinity War 18 times, but I won't be seeing Endgame again. Too many plot holes. If not for the great and satisfying fan service, it would be The Last Jedi. That, I mean, honestly, I can't argue with that. It had a ton of really great fan service. I can't argue that it's a good story. I don't know if that matters, but I'll be more critical as time goes. I know I will be, but we got a lot of good movies out of it. But I asked this question, and I'll ask, and I know the answer, and you guys all know the answer. So would DC say they do a couple hits, that say they finally get a Batman and Superman hit, would they retire Batman, give him a happy ending and retire him? Would they do that to Superman? Marvel just made two characters who were on the B team. They were B-level characters when they started out. Believe it or not, folks. Captain Marvel or Captain America and Iron Man were B characters. They are now A characters, and they retired them because of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. Now, yeah, sure, they'll reboot them when I'm 65. I mean, no, they should always recast. And they'll come around. Disney will figure that out someday. In my lifetime, I don't know. Right there with you. Garcus Bloodlust, $10. Will Netflix's The Witcher deliver an adult fantasy with great characters, adult themes, and complex lore on par with Game of Thrones? I hope so. Seasons 1 through 6. Or will we have a long wait for another adult medieval fantasy series? Well, Jeremy on the Quartering has done some great videos of about 6 months ago on the writers from The Witcher. And I'm telling you, don't get your hopes up. The writers from The Witcher seem really concerned about all the wrong things. I'll just say that storytelling is not the highest priority. Again. Thank you, Gargus. I hope I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, because I'm really excited for The Witcher. I want to see it. It's really right down my alley. So I will give it a shot. And if it's good, great. Mark C, $2. Great news, by the way. Amy Pascal is leaving Sony Pictures for Universal. Spider-Man is free of Amy Pascal. Unfortunately, I think Avi Arad won that battle, and it just went from the frying pan into the other frying pan. Mark C, it's good to see you. Thank you for $2. George Mallow for $24.99. What is up, my friend? Thank you for the very generous super chat. Hey there, ho there, hi there, Gary. I feel a tad adrift. When Marvel went woke with the comics and lost their ass, why, oh, why would they repeat their mistake with the new MCU Femzy Phase 4? The FemCU. It's the FemCU. TM. Phase 4. Can you please explain? Thanks. I can give you an explanation. It won't make sense. Hollywood has always been full of themselves. Actors have always been full of themselves. But the new trend it's a trendgenda, is they think that their properties are platforms. Properties are not platforms. They are not your Instagram account. They are not your YouTube channel. They are not your Twitter account. They are not your opportunity. But they see that. They go, I just got this big role. I need to be socially conscious. I mean, that's exactly like, and listen, if you want to put a filter over your profile picture to show solidarity for something, I mean, knock yourself out. That's great. As long as, and I know like most people know that you're just showing support. You don't think it's actually changing the world or anything. But Brie Larson says that she is on the forefront of the LGBTQ community and inclusiveness. Self-titled. That's like nicknaming yourself. You can't do that. Yes. Oh, George Mallow. I just saw your other super chat, and it's like you picked my brain, because after I read the Witcher one, I was thinking the same thing. I'll get to that. Elric. Nicholas Horton, $5. The army of the dead should have conquered most of Westeros as far as King's Landing. Yes. They should have handed them their ass. They should have been run screaming, and Jon Snow, Tyrion, Sansa, Arya. Sansa should have died. Tyrion, Dany, Grey Worm, Jon. Trying to think of anybody. Everybody else should have died. Should have been like 5 people walking away from that. 5. But no, they're going to kill the rest. The Golden Company is going to be more formidable than the army that you literally couldn't kill. But the men, 20,000, which isn't that much. The army of the dead was hundreds and hundreds of. Where were the other giants? Budget. I'll answer the question. Budget. Why did they get rid of the Dothraki? Budget. Why did they shoot it so dark? Budget. It obviously got under their skin because there's been articles today defending themselves. Honestly, and I said it before, it's not the director. He certainly did a bad job in my opinion, but it was post-production. This was done in post-production, and it was done in the streaming. I used to do this. And what they did was, Robert Meyer Burnett explained it beautifully, but I'll just keep it to layman's terms. They crushed the shit out of the blacks, and they just did it too damn much. And basically what he said, and I will echo this, is they're farming a lot of this post-production out. So the people who are doing it just frankly aren't talented, don't have the skill, and don't have the understanding of filmmaking. It's a harsh thing to say, but they're farming this out to like these not incubators. I can't think of the term right now. All right. So what I used to do at Technicolor is I was a pre-mastering technician. Part of my job, because it was contract, was to train my replacement. Where was that replacement? Bangalore, India, which is fine, which is great. No problem. The problem is, I went to school about this. Plus, I also understand it. I understand film. I understand the technical side of it too. And there was a giant cultural barrier, and it ended up not working. And Paramount got in a lot of trouble because they were Disney specific, or not Paramount. Technicolor got in trouble because Paramount and Disney specifically told them not to farm their stuff out to India, and they were, and they got caught because somebody CC'd Disney on an email, and some shit went down, and people got fired. But I was doing it. Now, I wasn't one of the ones who got fired. And by the way, I also didn't rat anybody out. Snitches end up in ditches. I totally agree, Nicholas Horton. The okay, the either the thing that should not be or the tad that should not be. $5. LOL. YouTube is idiotic. Just now, the notification for this stream comes through. How far into it are we? Hours. No, I'm just kidding. Echo Based Network, $1.99. By the way, thank you. The tad that should not be, or the thing that should not be. I'm not sure which. Echo Based Network, $1.99. You still going to hook me up with those comics? Yes, but it's gonna take a minute. I've got a million things to do, but did you email me? Email me, and I'll hook you up. You wanted you did email me. You wanted, oh God, was it X-Men? I set them aside. Recent Evil, $10. Is the Night King a metaphor for the Mueller report? Oh, there's a lot of metaphors in there. Recent Evil, maybe. Brother Malachi, $5. The Masho channel recently did a video on how to get around YouTube algorithm when doing a search on news related content. And that is it right there. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Brother Malachi. I appreciate the 411, man, and the $5. Eric K, $5. Gary, early 60s female hero on TV, Popular Avengers, Diana Rigg as Emma Peel. She was a big ass. Was she like a big ass in real life? But I loved Emma Peel, and Emma Peel was beautiful. She was also Mrs. James Bond. Brother Malachi, $5. Why couldn't they bring back Jaleel White as Sonic? Even as bad as the animation is, it would have went a long way to win back some goodwill. Brother Malachi, Hollywood gives two shits about that. The whole point of what I'm talking about here, and you guys are really staying on point in super chats, which is great, is Hollywood has failed fandom completely failed fandom. And what really is the salt in the wound on this one is they blame fandom for their failures. I mean, God, I don't want to say the F word right now. F you, Hollywood. F you, Hollywood. You fail fandom, the people who pay you, and then you blame them. And stop. I don't want to hear your excuses, Hollywood. I don't want to hear them. You guys make the content. People don't like it. They tell you why you don't like it, and you end up making more of what they don't like because those aren't the voices you want to hear. So you keep making stuff for 10 people on Twitter. You keep making stuff for posers like Remfamous. Go ahead. Poser, by the way. Poser. Major poser. TV show ran from 1961 to 1969, says Eric K. Yeah, I was born in 69. A great show. I watched the reruns all the time when I was a wee little lad back in this Stone Age. George Mallow, $9.99. What do you think about the Thomas Covenant Chronicles or Michael Moorcock's L-Rock or Melnibone? I don't know the Melnibone series. The Thomas Covenant Chronicles are cool, and Michael Moorcock's Elric is something I've recently got into, believe it or not, from a Razor Fist video, and I love it. Freaking love it. I want, and honestly, The Witcher and Elric, I mean, they look a lot alike. They do. Codem 01, thank you, George Mallow, by the way. Codem 01 565. Finally caught you streaming live. Wanted to show support for all the hours you've entertained me with the Orville and STD content. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm glad you caught me live. I am going to go live daily. It's going to be mixed on different channels, though, so people don't get sick of me. Or maybe already are. I don't know. There's only a couple people on Earth who aren't sick of me yet. That's Mrs. Nerdrotic. And well, my oldest son, he left. So I'm just kidding. I was sick of him, to be honest with you. North American Vikinger. Just kidding, Indy. $2. Without Night King, Brand Spirit would rendered it. Brand Spirit World rendered irrelevant. Yes. Brand story irrelevant. John's story. Oh, he's supposed to sit in the throne. Who cares? He doesn't want the throne. He doesn't want it. So basically, we're watching Star Wars for another 2 hours after they destroyed the Darth Vader, after the Death Star. So we're going to see pretty much them returning to Yavin, having the after party, then packing up, and then realizing that, oh shit, we didn't beat the Empire. We just blew up the Death Star and we just pissed them off. And they have to bug out of Yavin, and they're just running for their lives for a little while. And that's it. Well, that's not even going to happen here. What's going to happen here is they're going to get to Cersei. Cersei's going to kill a bunch of them. They're going to go down there and make some really dumb decisions and walk into every one of her traps. And I'm sticking with Jon Snow is going to get captured. Freaking going to get captured. And they're going to sideline his ass. And yeah. Yeah. There will be, am I going to go out on a limb and say there won't be any men in charge of any major houses at the end of the show? I think there's a 80% chance that could happen. 80% chance of feminization of Game of Thrones. The feminization is coming from the South. Sorry, that was my bad identity politics weather report. Joel Tumburo, $2. The winner of the Game of Thrones is Nymeria. Yep. The loser, the fans. Oh, I tell you, I cannot tell you how many of the. Why do you care? It's just an 80-minute TV show. It's just entertainment. Why do you care? I mean, to be asked that question tells me everything. If you're asking that question of a fan, you're not a fan. You need to go back to nerd school if you want to be a nerd. Or maybe you're just a casual fan. A lot of people like to throw out that I'm a nerd. And that's fine. It's just a term. It's just a word. But the true meaning of that word is we will argue about Game of Thrones for a week or The Last Jedi for 2 effing years and won't stop. That's why, like, honestly, this is very good for me. YouTube's very good for me, our comic store, because it's so funny. Anti-Trekker has a video of this on one of his super chats, and it's him complaining about Star Trek Discovery at the Waffle House. His little animation is working at, and he's like yelling at some customer about Michael Burnham. The customer's like, I just wanted to get waffles. You don't understand. That's what I would be. But that's fandom. Again, if anybody, well, I've seen people tweeting this who are actors, creatives in Hollywood. If you're asking that question, you shouldn't be on a show like Star Trek or Game of Thrones or anything. I mean, you probably got the job, but like, it might not be to your strengths. Maybe you should go work on The Good Fight or something like that, or Big Brother. The tad that should not be had to rewrite everything due to the Red Wedding. Who? George or the writers? The Red Wedding was set up pretty brilliantly. They even did a good job of it in the show. I thought they did a very good job, for lack of a better term, executing that in the show. It was one of the things they did right. The problem is they got kind of addicted to that. They got addicted to YouTube video reactions and stuff like that. And they lose sight of the story when they start writing for Twitter or for Instagram or for shipping or for the memes or whatever. I mean, that shit should be out of your head, or current year politics. You should just be 100% obsessively into your story. Nothing else should exist. Timothy Swan, Australian $5. Hey Gary, a Thrones has been a classic bait and switch. A Zora High prophecy, a likely book ending, just doesn't sit well politically. No, it doesn't. And I'm going to make a video on how the book, it's impossible for the book to end even close to how the Night King battle had. It's going to be a two-parter because it'll be one for the Night King's end and one for the ending. I don't even know the ending of the show, and I'm telling you right now, it's impossible to end the books like the show will end. It's impossible because they've just put too many they've just cut too much out. I am okay. I'm trying to read this name. I am Prathusha. $10. Imagine the disgust on my face when my cousin came up to me saying, Captain America or Captain Marvel, what's it? Oh, I don't even, hang on. Sometimes I don't speak internet. So this dumbass has to do this. Hang on. I have to look it up. So, okay. So it's okay. There you go. What's it? I'm saying, is it binary? Binary Captain Marvel, because hashtag feminism. The feminist grooming comes from her teachers. Being a woman is a movie standard. Well, when she came out, for one, they keep shoving this crap down our throat that this is the first of this, and she's I mean, I'll pull up the damn article. I couldn't believe it when I read it. And yeah. Brie Larson on forefront of diversity. It's like she thinks she's the head of the movement. And this is a quote. By the way, I'm going over the actual podcast. I'm going to do a video on that. I don't understand how you could think that a certain type of person isn't allowed to be a superhero. Okay, that statement right there is pure ignorance. Pure ignorance. These are the kind of people. This is why our shit's getting ruined. Is somebody brought up the point in the live stream last night. Chris Evans waited a while. He had to earn his cred before he started getting political. She's the one who, like, she's the girlfriend you bring home, and she wants to hide your comic books and rearrange your house and get rid of your movie posters the minute she rolls in the house. Yeah. I don't understand how you think that a certain type of person isn't allowed to be a superhero. Nobody thinks that, except for you, Brie, because you want less white people. So to me, it's like, we got to move faster because I'm always wanting to move faster with this stuff. And then she could. All right. So we will get to her quote. And of course, I picked the article that doesn't. Oh, they talk about Shang-Chi. Okay, there it is right there. She is on the forefront of normalizing this. Normalizing. It's pretty normal. Yes. So it's something I've always known. I think a lot of people always knew, but this is just normalizing. Don't really being able to see this as screen for anything like is really exciting. And Captain Marvel actress, big ticket. I'm happy to be on the forefront of the normalization of this type of content. Right there. Here, I'll show it to you. For a human being to say they're on the forefront of a movement, when I mean, I don't know or care if it doesn't matter if she's straight or not. To label yourself as anything, again, it's like nicknaming yourself. I mean, the freaking arrogance of this. I'm happy to be on the forefront of the normalization of this type of content. What exactly did you do, Bree? You put on a superhero costume. What did you normalize? Exactly what? I mean, your existence is pretty, I mean, it's normal. I mean, in a basic sense. So yeah, if you basicized, if that's a word, I just made it up. This type of content, you've really brought it down to complacency, to boring, to a beige wall, a white piece of paper. Yeah, elevator music. I mean, that's what this is. Yeah, I'm going to break down that podcast. Captain Marvel has become the Eagles of the Lord of the Rings. Wait, I just realized I insulted the Eagles. They have more personality, and an eagle has never preached to me. That's true. Yeah, Peter Jackson could have put a little background on the Eagles, but because they had it, they definitely had it. Sean P, you're right. Our good friend from Canada. Thank you very much for the Canadian $5. Hologram Nunchuck gives us a 99-cent donation. Thank you very much. Timon FLP, 5 rubles. Nerdrotic. Actually, Pascal will still produce anything related to Spider-Man, thanks to Feige. She is like herpes. You just can't get rid of her. Her production team is still involved with Spider-Man. Wow. Well, then, yeah, that takes away any news of her leaving Sony. She's still in charge of Spider-Man. Well, that just blew. Yeah, that sucks. But honestly, I think Spider-Man, I don't think she really has anything to do with what the MCU is doing to Spider-Man. A lot of people blame Sony last time around. I think it's Disney. Eric K, $5. She was a badass damn auto spell and beautiful. Who was? I got to go back there. Oh, Elizabeth Sladen? Yes. No, we were talking about somebody else. That was Peter Davison. I don't know. Just pop in the chat. You don't have to give another super chat. Tell me who you're talking about. Sorry, yesterday I was eating. I bit the shit out of my cheek. Oh my god. Took a big old chunk out of it. Echo Base Network, $1.99. Uncanny X-Men 266. New Mutants 98, which is the first Deadpool, and Spider-Man 300, which is Venom. I definitely have 98. And I definitely have 266. I thought I had 300. I thought I had a couple. That I have not found yet. But first Deadpool, I got. Gentleman Trout, $2. Thank you, Echo Base. You didn't have to get a super chat for that. You could put that in the chat. Gentleman Trout, $2. Any of your figures, Batman, the animated series? Yes, but they're not back there. Those are over there. I have a bunch of them still in the package. Those are in a box. Probably not going to take them out from the 90s. But my Batman section right now is up there in a corner, so can't see it. The thing that great faction figures, by the way, though. Thank you, Gentleman Trout. The thing that should not be $10. The Red Wedding was not in George's original outline. One night while writing the third book, he had a dream and thought it too good to not include, and it caused him to have changed everything. Oh, okay. Rewrite the whole series. Yeah, definitely. And it was a good change. I mean, I don't think it's a defining moment for the book. So for people to say, well, I'd rather have a finished series than the Red Wedding, nah, it wouldn't be the same. So yeah, that's interesting. I did not know that. That's crazy. So he tapped into the great, to the what's it, the something library, or the Acacian record, something like that. Astaroth for $10. Hail Gary, glad to catch you live for once in a while. Been very busy recently. Launched my first Indiegogo campaign, Hack and Dash, tonight and feeling drained. Thanks so much for relaxing content. You're very welcome. Here, I'll look it up. I'll give you a shout out here. Let's do this. Indiegogo Hack and Dash. Can I search it? There we go. Hack and Dash. There it is, right there. Okay, everybody. I'm gonna share this real quick. Take a look. Oh my God, am I totally ripping off Comicsgate right now? Should I sing a song while I'm doing this? No, I'm not gonna do that. Ethan has a better singing voice than I do for sure. But I have a better beard. Okay, so that's it, right? Hack and Dash, Hack and Dash. Let me read it here. Oh, is that that's a game? You said it's a comic or is it a game? Hang on, let me get back. I don't want to be sing. Oh God, no, I'm not gonna sing. You freaking kidding me? No way. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story. At the end of the podcast, I'll tell you guys a story. I was thinking about doing an ASMR video of reading a Game of Thrones chapter, like the Red Wedding or something like that. We can do a little bit of that before I go. All right, so it's at $243. He needs 12,000. He's got 1%. You just launched it. You got 5 backers. Here we go. Overview. Welcome to Moon Gear Games' first campaign. Moon Gear Games LLC was founded by Anthony. I'm going to mess up your last name. Marimpietri III and Michael Collins. One of our hobbies for years has been to develop games we wanted to play. Now we're all ready to share the results of our labor. I'm sorry, this is very small print for me. I got to blow this up and I'll get right back to you guys. Now we're ready to share the fruits of our labor with you. With this campaign, we want to deliver a copy of Hack and Dash to you and continue to develop more games. Hack and Dash is a 2-player card game that feels like a board game, ready to go right out of the box. Instead of using bulky game boards and portable games, uses cards to randomly create one for you, making games feel fresh and unique each time you play. Set moments after clearing a fabled dungeon. Set moments after clearing a fabled dungeon whose name has been forgotten by time. You'll command a band of heroes through diverse landscapes as they return home from their faction's guild hall. Be careful out there, as you'll be challenged by opposing heroes looking to seize your treasures for themselves. Players will begin by separating cards from the box. And there we go. Take a look at it. Give it a look. Looks cool. I love independent works of any kind. I really do. So my thoughts, just off the top of my head, and this is an idea I've been playing with, is when I do my pop-up comic shop, I think I really am going to troll San Francisco and call it Comicsgate for a month. I think that'd be pretty funny. And I'll just carry Richard's book and Ethan's book and we'll see what happens. Not that it'll probably happen. It'll be fine. Be fine. All right, back to this, and I got to get to the chat. All right, I'm going to get to the chat for a little bit. I'll be right back to you guys in the super chats in just a second. It's a card game, and don't worry about my last name. The army butchered it constantly. Cool. Cool. Well, there you go. A little shout out to our friend Astaroth, who created his own work. And honestly, this is like the best time to do that with crowdfunding. God, when I was doing my comic, I wish there was freaking Indiegogo. Didn't cost me a fortune. You better be making good money for this, Gary. I'm Zippo Fanatic 77. I'm doing, I'm never going to be like a multimillionaire. Okay. I'm fine. I'm a thousandaire. I'm a very happy being a thousandaire. I own a house. I never thought I'd own a house. Well, I mean, I own part of a house. The bank owns the rest. Let's be real. Let's be real. I'm a nerd heretic. I strongly dislike Firefly. Oh, deaths 0079. You know what? You're just a nerd. You're not a nerd heretic. There are nerds who don't like Star Wars. I know. There are nerds who don't like Batman. There are nerds who don't like Spider-Man. There are nerds who don't like the X-Men. Yeah, it's you're still a nerd. There's just I mean, I disagree. I love Firefly, but no, there's a lot of people who don't like Joss Whedon, and especially because he's been quiet lately, ever since his ex-wife freaking called him out for being a hypocrite. It was a very it really got him focusing on art again and not being whatever the hell he was on Twitter. But that certainly hurt him financially. He lost a lot of fans. Linda Carter was in a movie called Bobby Joe and the Outlaws, where she showed her boobs. Rex Racer. I did not know that. And now Bobby and the Outlaws is currently being Googled by hundreds of people, a couple hundred people, maybe 20, but that's okay. I was focused on not raising my kids the way my parents did, says Muggles Cake Sniffer. Good. Raise your kids how you think they should be raised. Parents are not always the best example of that. What you do is you learn from your parents' mistakes, and parents will say that. I certainly hope that my kids learn from mine. The problem is in the instruction manual that comes out of your wife's hoo-ha right after your kid is born, clearly states that you shouldn't parent perfectly. Gary, do you think that CERN pulverized the last world and put us in this parody dimension? Yes, Dr. Meatball. The answer, simple answer, yes. CERN fires up, shit goes sideways. Coincidence? I think not. As a matter of fact, let's go to the year. When did CERN start? CERN's first experiment. If it says, it depends on the year. Let's just say the history of CERN. Just give me a year. I don't care about this or that. And the Hadron Collider. Okay, CERN's first experiment in Hadron Collider. Date. Huh. Whoa. Okay. Dr. Meatball, it started out as a joke. I don't think it's very effing funny right now. Now you got to follow me on this one, because when you see this date, you go, what are you talking about? I want you to think about this date, folks. Hang on a second. I got to get that. Okay. The Large Hadron Collider is the world's largest and most powerful particle accelerator. It first started up on the 10th of September, 2008, and remains the latest addition to CERN's accelerator complex. The next day, the economy tanked. September 11th, 2008 is when the economy tanked. And do you think it's a coincidence that it happened on September 11th? No, it wasn't a coincidence, by the way. And that's for the exozone. But Dr. Meatball, you rule. Now, it didn't shake the world as much as like 9/11 did, but it certainly was the second most world-shattering thing. We'll just say the generation, maybe part of my generation. Trying to think of what was. 9/11 was clearly the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to the country since I've been alive. And 2008 was the second. Was certainly the second. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Let's get to the super chats. Going down the rabbit hole on that one. Just watch Geeks and Gamers' new video on Captain Marvel. The NPCs want Brie to step down and give it to the black lesbian. Classic. Modalicious. It is classic. I think it's hilarious. Josiah do that video. Yeah, that's funny as hell. I don't know if I want to do an entire video. I might, but they did one first. I gotta find my own take on that one. I actually took the day off. I didn't even think about doing a video today. It's the first day I haven't thought about doing a video since I got back from vacation, but I've been actually working my ass off and streaming like nuts, and I just needed to sleep today. And I ended up guesting on a radio show today. Poor guy. I was supposed to call somebody, and before this live stream, I'm like, I'll call you in like 20 minutes. And I went back to sleep for like half hour. Missed my phone call. So if you're out there, Christian, sorry, dude. Call me in the morning. Paul Modalicious, that's hilarious. Paul Carpenter, $2 to Brie. Replace first with worst, then be accurate. Now, if Monica Rambeau, or for one, she didn't start out as a lesbian. I mean, she might be now. I have no idea. But if they bring her in, that's the Captain Marvel I remember. Honestly, that's the Captain Marvel I remember, not the Miss Marvel. Big distinction there. Thank you, Paul Carpenter, for the $2. Eric K, $5. Gary told you this before. Elektra with Jennifer Garner way before the Brie. Elektra, exactly. Oh yeah. Well, no, listen. I watched Supergirl in 1986. Last time I checked, that was a female lead in a superhero movie. Jennifer Garner was the first Marvel lead. Yes. It was not Brie Larson. It was Jennifer Garner. You are correct. Thank you, Eric K. Jen McMahon. Hi, Jen. $4.99. How full stereotype do you think the MCU will go with their inclusion? Stereotype 3000. That's how full stereotyped they're going to go. Stereotype 3000. Modalicious, $5. I would pay money to throw a lamp at Brie so I could tell her to lighten the hell up. We'll say a metaphorical lamp. Yes, certainly. She does need to light the hell up, and probably, well, you'd say pull the stick out of her butt, but there's not even, you can definitely tell there's no stick up there. Modalicious, thank you. TK, $10. Great stream. Appreciate your insight on red wedding puns. Thanks. The red wedding. Thank you, TK, for the $10. I appreciate it. Strider Man, $5. Did you see the announcement for? Yes, I was going to talk about that. For Ghost Driver. It is Ghost Driver. If he's a Ghost Rider, then he's riding in the passenger seat of the car. Ghost Riders ride motorcycles. Ghost Drivers drive cars. It's stupid. Oh, yeah. I'll get to that. And wasn't I just talking about they should make a Son of Satan? Hellstrom for Hulu. Saw Odin mention it in his last video. Yes, it is true. And it will, well, I mean, Hellstrom, honestly, Lucifer on Netflix, I mean, it'll probably end up being the same. He's a very different character, but they're not going to make him like straight up Son of Satan. They won't cast, I bet you they won't cast a white guy. It won't be a white guy. Ghost Rider is going to be Gabriel Luna, because yeah, everybody loved him in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. so much so that they never brought him back. And it's on Hulu. I can't get excited about it. Ghost Rider is my favorite freaking character in Marvel visually. And it's Johnny Blaze or Danny Ketch should be fine too. But Ghost Driver, no, he needs to be. I mean, listen, if they want to have Gabriel Luna riding a motorcycle, then okay, we can talk about that. The car thing, stupid as hell. Stupid as hell. I know the motorcycle's a little harder to buy, but it just, I don't know, makes more sense visually. A superhero driving, like in a motorcycle, it's like riding a horse. You can battle on a motorcycle. In a car, you're just driving in a car. Yeah. David Knight. Oh, that's a weird name to see. And I'll tell you why. 5 pounds. Why didn't they shoot the Battle of Winterfell in the snow? I didn't even think about that. I mean, there was a blizzard, but you didn't see snow anywhere else. Maybe it all melted. Lighting problem solved. God, the episode sucked. The TLG of GOT. Yes, it was. Now that I've slept on it 3 times, it is the Last Jedi of Game of Thrones. It is a franchise killer. Okay, so David Knight. Funny thing, David, that was the name I was given at my birth. Because I'm adopted. So that was the name on my original birth certificate. Jack Random, $2. Thank you for always being on top of Super Chat props. Cool. You're welcome. And 007 Cloud, $2. Gaming and anime were better when niche. Absolutely. I mean, I can't speak for gaming, but anime, what little I know about it, yes. And comic books, yes. Actually, fandom works better in the realm of the niche. And it will return to that. And I'm looking forward to it. Now, we won't have as many cons or anything, but it'll just go back. At least as long as old guys like me will be around, there'll always be little comic conventions in like Scottish Rite centers or, I'm trying to think, the halls where the like some Masonic temple, the Masonic halls, they have comic conventions in those places. I love those little ones that you just go to for a couple hours. Those are my favorite, absolute favorite. All right, back to the chat. Ooh, wow. It's when did I start? All right, yeah, I'll go for a little while longer. Man of Action, absolutely, yeah, dude. Those little cons, like here in California, Sacramento does one every 4 months. It is seriously my favorite con, the Sacramento Comic Con. I go there, I sneak in for like an hour and a half. I drive 2 hours to go in there for an hour and a half. I save up my money and I drop a dumb amount of money. But I mean, just to justify this, I don't buy anything else. I don't eat expensively. I don't go out to eat every day. Clothes. I'm pretty, I'm pretty thrifty when I shop for I don't buy new furniture. I don't buy new anything. I buy everything secondhand. I go to thrift stores. I'm pretty freaking cheap so I can buy more collectibles. So yes, honestly, I haven't bought a ton lately though, because I don't have any more room. And the self-imposed rule is if you're going to buy something, it has to be displayed and you have to take something down and sell it. So it's like a trade thing. It's always a moving collection. I've only freezed it lately because I'm superstitious. So I don't want to change the wall because the channel's been doing great. So I don't want to F with the background, but I've been messing with this stuff all day long that you don't see. Do you have any theories for Cobra Kai season 3? I will save those for my review. Halam 899, which will be in 2 days because I slept most of the day today. What's up, Dark TARDIS? Kaylee Traveler. I'm glad something made you laugh. That's good. Don't mean to squash any ideas about the Large Hadron Collider, but the date turns out isn't really important. You want to check when it did an experiment using a higher energy than before. Yeah, not really. We don't know. I'm only going off of what Google said. I imagine they did something the day they turned it on. That would be just my guess. Simply turning it on. And I did Google first experiment. And you didn't squash anything. I'm still convinced things are set in a I don't believe in coincidences, loquacious primate, because there's too goddamn many of them to be called coincidence. Game of Thrones on sale at Nerdrotic. That's right. That's right. Soon, I do have a eBay thing. It's called Nerdrotic, and very soon my my Game of Thrones Blu-rays seasons 1 through 7 will be going up for cheap. I have the season 1 that was pulled from the shelves because it's got the George Bush head in it. The heads on the spikes. Remember, they were Sansa was forced to look at them. One of them's George Bush, and they were forced to remove that from the Blu-ray. Well, they effed up Cowboy Bebop, and in what form? When will they F up Cowboy Bebop, and in what form? Live action? I mean, like anything. Listen, when you get anything in live action, it's a crapshoot. It's actually rare when it's good. No way. I changed my name to David Knight. No way. Really? That's funny. That is funny. Thank you for the £2. Yes, that was on my OG birth certificate. To quote Garrick, "Oh, I believe in coincidences. I just don't trust them." Oh, that's a good quote. That's a good quote. So what am I going to do after this? Right after I'm done, I'm going to probably watch like another 2 hours of Doctor Who and go to sleep. And I will just feel great because I feel just happy and joy in my soul when I'm watching old Doctor Who. It brings it's like a meditation. I don't know why I love that show so much, but I do. And honestly, the Jodie thing has made me appreciate the older stuff even that much more. Cowboy Bebop is going to go live action on Netflix. I doubt it will be good, says Nihilus Shadow. I agree with you, Nihilus. Do you like Fringe, Gary? Actually, I did. A Miyagi. I actually did. It's got kind of a meandering ending, but as far as a J.J. Abrams property, it's the one that he ended the best, in my opinion. And yeah, I like the concepts of it and stuff. Fixie Clary, heart for Tom Baker, big heart for Tom Baker. Major asshole in real life, but apparently he's turned it around and he's cool now. Brian Smart, entertainment is entertainment. Agenda is politics. Never the second should meet. Keep the politics out of my entertainment. Word, my friend. And stop failing the fandom. The fandom puts you in your really effing nice cars. If any of you walked around Beverly Hills, you ever have the opportunity to go to LA, I really recommend go see how the other half lives. Go. Elton John's house is like just off of it's off of my main drag there, and you can go right by it. It's got 16 to 17 foot walls around it. It is effing huge. And it's weird how it's set up because it's set up like a normal neighborhood, except it's just multi-million dollar mansion and multi-million dollar mansion, multi-million dollar mansion, just one after the other. These insanely huge houses that have freaking 10-car garages and just freaking helicopter pads on top. Yeah, go drive around, see how the other half lives. And Elton John, music fans, they're nerds. That's all they are, is nerds of a different kind. And don't forget who pays for all that stuff. I mean, your talent definitely has something to do with it, but you need people to appreciate your talent so much that they pay you quite a bit. I know they're not going to listen to me and they don't give a shit. But when the party ends, and it will end, I don't know when, but it'll end. Don't ask why, just don't. You keep shitting on the fans, and we're going to find new places to event. Thankfully, I mean, honestly, it's good that we found each other for this stuff, and we're going to still make videos. I came up with 3 ideas while I was doing this live stream. So, I really should make another Game of Thrones one, considering. So the algorithm has spoken. And my last video did very well. Now, not like, the big dogs or anything like that, but for my channel, it did very well. I can't remember the last time. I think the only video that I've had that got 100,000 views in 24 hours was my Orville video that it has over 400,000 views. So that's cool. I was very, very happy. So I felt like after that happened, I'm like, I can take a day off. I can just chill for a minute because I was up really late last night. It was awesome talking to Mahler. Been a fan of his for a while. Rags. Rags is really cool. Jesse's cool. Anna was cool. Anna was on Cecil's side. Of course, you can still find it. I think Jeremy kept it on his channel. So we did a 7-hour live stream debating Game of Thrones. It was nuts. Have you heard the Blue Oyster Cult remix for Godzilla? Crossbreed Azure. I have not heard the remix. I just watched the trailer about 3 hours ago. I watched it 4 times. I'm so excited for that movie. But I was really excited for the last one. And I got to admit, I mean, while it was good, it was a little disappointing. I thought it'd be a little better because that trailer for that Godzilla movie was one of the best goddamn trailers I've ever seen. It just built so much dread with Oppenheimer doing his voiceover in it. And I am become the god of that. So, whoa, that just was one of the best trailers ever. I will have to listen to it. I love that song. And it is the movie that I'm looking at, that and John Wick 3. Those are the 2 films I'm looking forward to the most. Nicholas Horton, Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 3, Doomcock completely destroyed the episode in his episode review. Yes, as did I. He was also live with me, and we destroyed it together. We destroyed it together and separately, and then he quit. So he's not covering the show anymore. So it's just going to be me. I'm going to ride it out. I ain't going to be nice. Unless it gets good, then I'll, the Godzilla remix is actually pretty good, says Nihilist Shadow. Cool. I will check it out right after I'm done. I wish I could play it for you guys, but I can't. Ian Moon, thumbs up for Gary. Thank you. Kaylee says she loved the first Godzilla movie. I really liked it. I just thought it was going to be, I don't know. What was my problems with it? It moved a little slow at the end. I don't know, but him fighting all the other monsters, I'm into it. I'm not saying it was terrible. I'm just saying it was pretty good. I thought it was going to be like a classic. I was wrong. But it's cool that you loved it. I mean, it was still good. Don't get me wrong. I own it. That's how much I feel about it. Steam it, BitTube. BitTube. No. Channels. I am going to be doing another Twitch. It'll be a simultaneous Twitch live stream. That's Saturday is going to be a regular thing for that. So Saturday we're going to do the Twitch live stream. It'll also be on Nerdrotic Live. I'm using Restream. And Periscope if you want to watch it on Periscope for some reason. It'll be on 4 different channels at the same time. Sonic trailer brought dread big time, says 577 all well. It was bad. Who's John Wick, says Hologram Numchuck. Very funny. Who's John Wick? SJW Removal Incorporated. Oh man, that's like Damage Incorporated. Pray to the macho movie gods that John Wick 3 doesn't go woke. Well, everything is susceptible. Absolutely everything is susceptible. If John Wick goes woke, that means he'll be it might go woke. Did you guys see the Krypton trailer? My favorite, so Krypton is basically scowling supermodels. And so one girl, she's a beautiful supermodel, and they've just cut her hair short and she acts like a man. And they have her going into battle and she's running and she takes a guy and she like clotheslines him and he just flies out. And she's like 110 pounds soaking wet. I'll show it to you guys. It's so fracking stupid. And Kryptonians don't have superpowers. If she had superpowers, okay, fine. Oh my God. Krypton's terrible. Krypton's like really, really terrible. And I sat through that whole, I'm not covering it anymore. I don't want to ever see that show again. Is this it? It was just hot garbage. Brainiac looked cool. The Brainiac thing looked cool. They're bringing in Doomsday. Fucking Lobo looks terrible. Looks terrible. Oh, trailer. Helps to type trailer. Oh, seriously? Seriously. The Comic-Con teaser. It's just dun, dun, dun. There it is, right there. Here comes supermodel. A supermodel who's going to clothesline this dude. But her hair looks fabulous. Just fabulous. Look at this. Look at that badass blonde girl. Boom. Oh, yeah. Do you know what it takes to do that to a person, even if they're running at you? Oh, like she's shooting guns. There we go. Here it is again. Going into war. I look beautiful. Yeah, come on. Freaking stupid. I really hate 2019. Crossbreed Azure, thank you for the $2. Z Levitic. Nerdrotic, hey Gary, love your content, but I hate how you pronounce my name. I'm going to hear that a lot. So is it Zvi? Zvi? Is it Zvi? Zvi. Okay, Zvi Levitic. Lebkin. Okay, I got close. Nerdrotic, hey Gary, love your content. You even inspired me to start my own channel last week. The Rabbi from Another Planet. That's great. That is great. I will find it. Bjorn. I will find it. Give me a second. Bjorn, 50 Swedish crowns. The defensive siege works and Game of Thrones are a joke. Medieval people were under siege a lot. Just dragon glass, caltrips would have done it. They were, and they didn't think about that stuff at all. They were just going for visual payoff. So that's why a lot of people liked it initially. That's why a lot of people, listen, I feel like I'm a professor in this shit after watching Star Trek Discovery, each episode multiple times. It is a lesson in bait and switch. It is a lesson in look at the shiny thing while I'm, robbing and pickpocketing you. That's what Star Trek Discovery is. It's Boulder Dash. It's scuttlebutt on screen. All out of bubblegum. Gary, you think that Beverly Hills is something? Take a trip over to Sun River, Idaho. Almost every actor has a home there for tax purposes. I imagine they would. I imagine they do. And doesn't Ted Turner own the state of Montana practically? Yeah. Well, crap, dude. Go to Pacific Heights over here. Up here, Pacific Heights, man. That's a whole nother level than Hollywood. We got real, Nancy Pelosi lives up there and stuff. I know where her house is, unfortunately. Okay, see, what is it? The Rabbi from Another Planet. I love that freaking Mazel Tov, my friend. Here we go. You got to get in that filter, man. Let me see. I'm going to need a link. Until you start getting clicks, you get, it's just hard to search. Somebody send me, or if one of my mods could put in a link and share his channel, that'd be great. The Rabbi from Another Planet. All out of bubblegum. Thank you very much for the $5 super chats. And Bjorn and Z, thank you so much. Let's get back to the regular chat here. Hang on. I got to do one more thing. Uno más, por favor. Oh, Jesus. I got way too much stuff on my desktop. All right. First, again, apologies. I've been apologizing a lot lately, but I really felt like I needed to. Forgetting anybody in the Game of Thrones again. I'm truly sorry. I have relatives I got to apologize to. I haven't even heard what they said. They probably hated it. There we go. That's going. That is not going. All right. Phase 4 is going to suck. Yes, it is. It is going to be the FemCU. I was kind of attached to the MCBREU because it sounds like DCEU a little bit, but now the FemCU is where it's at. The FemCU. Here it comes. TM Nerdrotic. Marvel has been dead for a few years. Comics, yes. Hold on. I totally agree. I think when something's consistently bad for 3 years, it's dead. Did you see my earlier super chat? Yes, I read it. Did you hear me read it? Yeah. Did you see my earlier super chat? Amy Pascal is leaving Sony Pictures for Universal. Unfortunately, she is not leaving Spider-Man though. She is still working for Spider-Man. So she's out of Ghostbusters, but her production company is still in charge of Spider-Man through the MCU. So that sucks. But I'm glad she's out of there. But that's bad news for Universal, who by all accounts were, I mean, the Fast and the Furious was doing well, right? They were making tons of money off that. Thanks, Mark C. Yeah, I read it. I promise I read it. Guten morning. Guten Morgen, says Astasia. Thank you for reading the regular chats too. Very cool. Stray Dog, I just wish I could read all of them, like every single one. What I do is I'll read whatever's left, but if I miss anything, you really just put it in the comment section. I read all the comments. It takes me days, but I do it. Oh God, I'm so close to being caught up on my emails. Yes. Lobo's an ugly scoutsman now. Yeah, he is. The FemCU. That's right, Kaylee. Did I follow you yet on Twitter, Kaylee? I meant to do that. Hang on. Let me fix that. I got to do stuff while I'm thinking of it. It's a habit I learned in the auto industry because I'm a little absent-minded. Okay, I'm a lot absent-minded. Actually, I was supposed to call Jeremy. Shit. So I booked Las Vegas. It looks like Mecca and I will both be at the Las Vegas Star Trek convention. I'm going to be there with my entire family. It's my 50th birthday, so I'm trying to get a bash going and trying to get some YouTube because I'd really like to have some YouTubers there and do a meetup because I missed the Star Wars celebration. I'm really pissed, so I want to make up for it, and we'll see. It's an expensive. The Star Trek convention is too goddamn expensive. It is freaking stupid. It is more than Comic-Con, but I'm going for the channel. I'm going to live stream every night. I'm going to try to do a meetup, but we're going to try to do like legit live streams, not these, I'll do one at the meetup, but I'm going to give you news every night and opinion, mostly opinion. I'm not really about the news. And hopefully I can have guests. We're getting a proper room so we can do this in. And yeah, we're going all out on this one, but it's my birthday. So what the hell? And I could write it off. Got to have a write off. But that is August. That is July 31st through August 4th. I'll be there all the days. So if anybody wants to meet in Las Vegas, if you live in Nevada or, somewhere close and you want to come out, like, And if you can't meet up on the meetup day, we can like have a cup of coffee during the day or something like that. I'm game. Even if it's just one of you, that's great. Let's go. I wanted to follow Kaylee. I know you're in on Twitter, right, Kaylee? I might have to do it later. There you are, the cinema queen. There. Fix that. I meant to do that earlier. Sorry, Kaylee. Okay. Will Doomcock be there? No. Oh, Tharies, I haven't seen it yet. Oh, I'll watch it. I promise. I'll watch it. Bulls Trek's awesome. I will watch it, my friend. I will watch it twice. And I will share it. How's that sound? I'll even share it. Good job, man. Isn't he awesome? He's freaking great. So I messaged him, and you can get on this too, Tharies. I want to start, we get a lot of shit, at least I do, for being so negative, but I definitely want to, I wanted to have Bulls Trek pick one. You can pick one, and I pick a classic adventure that we can review and all talk about and take apart and stuff. And I think it'd be fun. I wanted Obi-Wan reviews. I asked Doomcock to go. He was the first person I invited, and I did it out of respect, knowing his answer would be no. So Doomcock can't make public appearances, folks. I mean, I don't want to speak for him. It's very difficult. I think he could probably imagine if Doomcock did a public appearance, it'd probably have to be like an open mic thing. Yeah, I mean, he can't break character. Like, he can't. It's part of his whole thing. So unfortunately, that means he can't go out. And for Las Vegas, you cannot walk around, because he could do the wearing a mask in public thing, which is fine, but it can't do that in Vegas. So they won't let you in a single hotel or casino with a mask on. It is against the rules. That's why Halloween kind of sucks there. Hey, Kaylee says, I live 90 minutes from Las Vegas. Well, that is pretty close. That is pretty close. Haters of STD and Game of Thrones Night King death represent. That's right, Red Dawn 370. If Nerdrotic takes off his hipster glasses, he will look like he will wither like the red woman. You know the secret of my power, Thomas Hart. It's my hipster glass. The Ray-Bans. The freaking Ray-Bans. They're the same as my sunglasses. Been wearing these freaking things for years. Yeah. Like, I've been wearing Ray-Bans so long. Like, they're cool again now, but like, they were cool in the 80s, and I just kept wearing them. But I also like need my glasses. But no, I won't wither, or maybe I will. There's a trick I can do with my glasses, though. I can do this. Red woman can't do that. What's up with Doomcock? Nothing. I said I wanted to bring him to I was even going to help him to get to the Star Trek convention. I wanted all the Star Trek people to go. I want Mead to go. I want everybody Star Trek to go to the Star Trek convention, all the YouTubers, so we can all meet up. And even the Fandom Menace. They don't even have to be involved in Star Trek. I think it could become a Fandom Menace thing. I mean, Christ's sake, it's Vegas. You don't even have to go to the Star Trek convention. As a matter of fact, I bought tickets. I'll probably only go one day. It's Vegas. I'd much rather hang out with, honestly, I would just rather meet people than go to the Star Trek convention. But I imagine I'll meet people there. But so I asked Doomcock to go. He was the first person I invited, but he can't go. There's no way he can make a public appearance. It'd be next to impossible for him. He could probably do some small thing but it'd have to be planned. It'd have to be a place where he'd have to wear a mask. It sounds like a lot of work. An Exozone meetup with Doomcock where he can wear his mask. It would be sweet. Maybe during Halloween. Yeah. Vegas is too fun. A hologram nunchuck? You are correct, sir. I don't drink. I don't really gamble, and I love that place, and I don't know why. Probably because Mrs. Nerdrotic, she's pretty fun. She's a pretty cool person. She's a good time, man. She's funny. She's fun to hang out with. A Willow TV show. That's interesting. That's an interesting concept. I wasn't the biggest fan of Willow, but I was also old when it came out. I mean, if I was a kid, I'd have probably loved it, but I was 17 or 18 when that movie came out. And I just remember, like, where's Val Kilmer? I thought Val Kilmer was going to be this. Oh, it's not about Val Kilmer? Dumb. I know people love Willow. I know, but you got to realize I was 17. 17's not like, unless you're a girl, I wasn't really interested in anything when I was 17, unless you were a drug or a girl. Not necessarily in that order, but mostly in that order. Arya is probably a Vulcan anyway. She probably is. FaceTime on his mask. That's pretty funny. That is pretty funny. That would be. Well, I'll find out if one of my yeah, I don't let anybody willy-nilly put links in the chat. Did you see my okay. Zvi, I'll make sure I'll pop it in the comments when I find it. Or you could just DM it to me, but I'm like, I am just about to take off because yeah, it's like midnight here. I can't stay up that late. I've stayed up way too late. Thank you, Obi-Wan Reviews. I don't look like a day over 45. Nice. That's good. I'm going to be 50. 50. Will I go to next year's Star Wars celebration? Yes. Probably would be nothing announced for movies, but it's in Anaheim. Celebration at Disneyland ×3. Yes. Neo Valentine. Yes, 100 times. Yes, I will be there. I will be at San Diego Comic-Con, and Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers says he's coming. So I imagine I wouldn't be surprised to see a convergence on Comic-Con. You don't even need to go into Comic-Con anymore. Trust me on this, people. There's enough stuff going on outside. And if we did a meetup, now you couldn't stay in downtown San Diego. All those hotels are booked up. But if anybody just asks me, San Diego is a huge place. You can go stay up in the beach cities, which are about 20, 30 miles away, like Encinitas, Del Mar, for cheap. And you're right on the beach. And you just get there's a train that takes you down there. You get on the coaster and it'll take you down there. You don't need to stay in downtown San Diego and pay $2,000 a freaking night for a hotel room. You can go be in a hotel on the beach for like $100 a night. All right. Comic-Con is dead. It kind of is. It kind of sucks to go in. Kid Galaxy. It's too crowded. I'm going to go for the channel for a meetup, go see my mom, see my father-in-law. I mean, I love San Diego. I honestly go for San Diego. It's my hometown. I love it. I love any chance to go down there. I never can go to San Diego because it's always watching my friend's comic shop in Union City while he's over there. You got to watch it. You got to watch Mind the Story. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There you go. Hey, see, Nyla's Shadow comes up big for you. There's the link to the Rabbi from Another Planet. Nyla's Shadow, you rock. Okay. Let's get this bit over with. Update on comics. I sent out some more comics today for the Patreon. They're coming media mail, so I mean, it could take days. And I don't have tracking numbers for media mail, but I had to be cheap on that because it was just getting crazy expensive. But they are on the way. Patreon changes will be coming this weekend. The big tier sold out anyway, so I'm just kind of dissolving that, and I'm gonna make a cheaper tier. I'm gonna make a couple tiers to where you can get a spot on Friday Night Tights, You get to choose a subject. You can do an entire live stream on Nerdrotic Live. And yeah, we're going to do some other stuff. We're going to change it around, make it more content based. And Doctor Who reviews are finally coming. I'm going to finally finish Farscape because there's less TV to watch. And honestly, I need to see something good. I'm so effing after Star Trek Discovery and that effing show last Sunday night. Utterly failed Fandom. How did they fail Fandom? Because, well, you never should listen to the fans all the time. No, but you should consider them. Do you understand that difference? Consider them. Keep them in mind. All of them. Don't get wrapped up in your own shit, smelling your own farts and think they smell good to think your politics are the side of right, that you are on the side of good. So much so you become dogmatic and cultish, and you start seeing the boogeyman everywhere. And you start seeing everybody as racist and not Nazi and then like an istophobe and shit. And it takes over your life so much that it starts getting into your creativity and it starts ruining your creativity. It kills your muse because it poisons you inside because you're just obsessed over politics. You're tweeting about it every day. You're in this like cesspool of negativity and you're alienating people, and you're so wrapped up in your rightness that you don't give a crap that you're alienating half your audience. And then when it's over, you're like, what happened? You know, when it's over, look at Mark Wade. Look at effing Mark Wade. He's done. He is cooked in this industry. Now, all his friends to his face are saying, oh, we still love you. We still love you. Nobody will fucking touch this guy. Look what he's done. So he was the superhero for the downtrodden. He was going to stop all those bullies. And he interfered with a human being's project because he didn't like what he said about comic books. And in my opinion, violated that guy's rights and owes him a shitload of money. If anything, I hope he learns a lesson, and I hope the lesson is he don't work no more. Now, Mark Wade's made enough money, and hopefully he saved it, that he's fine. But I mean, and the guy's got like loads of personal problems, which I won't rack out here, and I hope he gets help for that. But unsolicited advice for Mark Wade. I bet you if you apologized to Richard Meyer, I wonder if that would go a long way. It might be a little late for that. Admitted that he did it, admitted he was wrong, apologizes, and like gets off of social media and like get your life in order, dude. You had such a gift that you were given. You wrote comic books. But that wasn't good enough. You started believing you were the superhero that you were writing. And that's what Bree's doing too, by the way. And honestly, you know what's behind it? You know what my opinion is? It's fucking guilt. They feel guilty based on their own twisted politics for their success. So they're projecting it all over people. And it's like, for Christ's sake, you worked your ass off. You got it. You made it. And what are you? You're still a miserable freaking sow. It's like, I mean, part of that goes into creativity. I mean, like true artists are, you know, in pain and stuff. I get it. But like Mark Wade, you know, I'll never, I won't read his comics anymore. I won't, if I sell them again, nothing with his name on it goes in my shop, period, ever. He's done. He's cooked. He's done. So F that dude. We do not, without respect, we reject. We really got to stick with that. Now, and Game of Thrones fans, don't watch that effing prequel. Don't get HBO. Don't watch the prequel because you're going to get the same. If you don't think you're going to get the same, I promise you, you will get the same. They're not even basing it on George R. R. Martin's there's nothing to base it on except they're basing it on his Fire and Blood and World of Ice and Fire. There's no dialogue. It's just a map. It's just a source book. So it won't even be the same. It'll be worse. And Amazon, if you F with Lord of the Rings, I will make a channel dedicated to screwing you on that. So, all right. So we'll stop it there. I'm going to go to bed. Thank you, everybody. This podcast will be a podcast on Nerdrotic. You can listen to it on iTunes or Player FM or any mirror of iTunes. Just search Nerdrotic. It will also go over to Nerdrotic Live. I'll keep it up here for like another hour, maybe, and then it's going to go over to Nerdrotic Live. So if you don't see it, that's where it is. I will also, keep an eye on that community tab, because that's where I'll pop the link. I'll also put it on Twitter, so I'll make sure, and I will include the chat. Cool. So it'll be over there on Nerdrotic Live. Please subscribe there if you got a moment, and don't forget to ring that bell. Ring my bell. And that is it. You guys are brilliant. Thank you so much, Fandom Menace and Fanicillin from Star Trek, and my Doctor Who friends. I hear you. You said make more Doctor Who videos. I hear you. I'm going to make more Doctor Who videos. Believe me. And in the meantime, watch old Doctor Who. It's really good. So thank you again, everybody. Have a good night, and may the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Ciao.